So this is the arrivals hall, guys, and if you were to get a cab to the airport, you'll actually come out on ground level, and you might actually do what I did and accidentally walk into the arrivals hall, which is fine. As you can see, during this time of the pandemic, it was absolutely quiet, and you'll use those escalators to go up the stairs, and there will be your check-in upstairs. Okay, so that's just a common thing for many people to do, is to actually walk into the arrivals hall here. Once you go up the stairs, you'll find you're in the check-in area. They might have changed the layout by the time this video comes out, but it is essential, guys, that I had to keep this video timed for a time period and a cost period, okay? So there'll be Qantas and Virgin side by side. Now, here's our first comparison. You will see that if you're at Virgin, you would not get the access of a lounge. You'd be sitting with everyone else outside at the gate, and I had to buy myself a pie for breakfast. If you're with Qantas, you would get full lounge access while you waited for your aircraft to turn up. As you can see, I had a buffet breakfast there with Qantas, and with Virgin, I had to buy myself a pie for muffin break. While we waited for the aeroplane at the arrival gate with Virgin, I was quietly enjoying my breakfast in the Qantas lounge. Again, there is a price difference there. You will have to judge which one was better for you. I'll give you my breakdown at the end of this video, so keep on watching. All right, when it comes to seating, I think that, as you can see, it is exactly the same. So exactly the same seats in the Qantas or Virgin 737-800 series. Both aircraft were of similar age. The pitch and the width were exactly the same, as you can see there. Obviously, with the Virgin, I got the bulkhead seat. You might have got an extra inch more. And considering it's $200 cheaper, for some of you, you might think that's actually worth it. But again, I'll give you my breakdown at the end of the video. Okay, so as you know, one of my favorite things of all when I am on any aircraft, whether it be a domestic or an international flight, is the taxiing. I don't know what it is about the taxiing, but before we get to that, of course, are the overhead nozzles. Both aircraft had the exact same self-use overhead nozzles for nice cool air, which was fantastic. My favorite part, the taxiing. Well, the reason why I like this so much, I don't know. We're all different, I suppose. Some people like long journeys or the takeoffs, landings, but for me, nothing beats a taxiing. I don't know. I think as I stare out there into the open area of the airport, I see so many aircraft. And I think every aircraft tells a story. Everyone has their own story. Where are they going? Where have they been? Where does their destination lie? And I like to think that it's a bit of escapism for many people. We sit there not knowing the individual stories of all of these aircraft. Some of them sit there waiting for the pandemic to end. Some of them just sit there in comfort and in solace, waiting for their next flight. We like to give these aircraft a little bit of personality even, or maybe that's just me or the way I see things, but certainly I love the taxiing element of the takeoff and flying experience. So here we are, we're on the runway now, we're taking off. Again, like my previous video, I love the POV of the window. It gives me that sense of sitting in the aircraft and looking out. That's why I never stick my camera right on the window. I actually try and hold it and just get the image of that window. So if you wait a moment, you will see right there, I'm just trying to adjust it and just trying to hold it nice and still for you. And if you get the majority of the image outside and the angle of the window in the bottom left-hand corner, it should give you the feeling that you're just sitting in the plane there. That's something that I really enjoy. Of course, it will come with a bit more shakiness, but nevertheless, I love that feeling. Okay, this was a big point of comparison. On my actual ticket, it said on the Virgin flight meal, and I got 2 granola bars and a cup of tea. Now in the inset there, you'll see the Qantas meal. It was a vegetarian quiche, sourdough bread, a Lindt ball, some Ballantine butter to go with it, and of course bottle of water, and alcoholic beverage of your choice. So a clear difference there with the Qantas and the Virgin. So at the moment here, the 2 main points that you can see would be in the lounge and in the food. Okay. So one of the things about living in Australia is will be the beautiful wide open plains of our landscape, but unfortunately we got to see up close and personal just the ferocity of some of our bushfires. This actually wouldn't even be considered a major bushfire, but from the plane you can just see how big it was. Okay, so on approach to Sydney. Again, loving that POV. We're coming just over Botany Bay here, and I'll try and hold this camera still when we hit the ground. And there you can see me shaking about. It's quite hard to hold the camera straight. And there we go, landed in Sydney. Look at all the Qantas wide body just parked there. This is around about September in the spring holidays in Australia. And we can just see that all the aircraft that are unused. Okay, you can see some Dreamliners, some A350s. You can see A330s. Just sitting there on the tarmac, biding their time, waiting for their next journey. You can see also some other international aircraft taxiing around there as well. As I said, every plane has a story. Every plane has a destination, a place they've gone, a place they've been. I think that's what makes travel so interesting for many av geeks. Is that they're like being a part of that story. We can see a Garuda International aircraft there, Cathay Pacific, Emirates, Singapore Airlines. We're going past the Jetstar terminal and we're coming into Virgin. Now we actually move from international, because when you land on runway 2, you'll probably have to go past the international airport, and then we come in towards the domestic terminal. There are the Virgin aircraft, so Virgin will have its own terminal, so will Qantas, so will Jetstar, even though Jetstar and Qantas are in theory the same company. Still taxiing here, making our way to the terminal where we can disembark. And here we are. One last look at the seat before I leave, just like in my previous video. If you want to see the full Qantas review, it's just the video before this one. So go to my channel, go to the video before this one and watch that one. Okay? Guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Yeah, guys, so I hope to get the injection soon. Australia is one of the only countries in the world that doesn't let its people out. So if you need to have a special visa to actually leave, but you can't just leave, even if you want to pay for your own accommodation and pay for your own hotel stay in terms of quarantine, you just can't leave. And so people actually are not allowed to leave the country. But hopefully we can get get the jab soon, the vaccine's out obviously, and we can start moving again. And once we do, I'll be back making proper airline videos that are international. So just hang in there and hopefully you'll see a video soon. Okay guys, so for my analysis, Well, this is how I see it, and I'm more than happy for people to have differing views, but certainly I think if you're Virgin, I want to thank you, first of all, for making things competitive. It is really important that you are in the airline market in Australia, and that's so important. Secondly, for offering a $200 cheaper price. That is also very much appreciated, and that might make some people think about a second airline or give them an option. So for that, I thank Virgin. But the fact is, the way I see it, and these are my views, I think either $700 or $900 is ridiculous for a 2-hour flight in a narrow body aircraft. Okay, and regardless of the education, only an idiot like me would probably pay that much. Nevertheless, if you're going to pay between $700 and $900, that's a lot of money regardless. In that instance, you just take the Qantas one. Okay, I know what you're saying. Well, Tim, you idiot, you paid $200 for some scrambled eggs and a quiche, because that was the only difference. But the fact is, if you're going to pay that kind of money, as bad as it may sound, $200 shouldn't make that much of a difference, because $700 still is a very high price. So my breakdown is that if you're going to pay something ridiculous like $700 to $900 for a business class flight, take the $900 one, because clearly money is not your issue. Okay? If $200 was a big problem for you, you probably shouldn't be flying at the front of the plane anyway. Okay? I remember as a young person, I couldn't afford business class. $200 meant a lot to me as a young person. I went economy. Okay? It was only in later life I actually learned to fly business and could afford to fly business. Nevertheless, I hope I've made things a little bit more easier for you. I've probably made it more confusing for you. Nevertheless, please subscribe, and thank you again.